All right, we are now live. Stand by. Okay. This is Tech Help Oz Episode 2 for the 7th of April 2015. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ben Aylett and I'm joined by Lenny Trollope. This is Tech Help Oz. This is a little news blast that we have at least once a week. And today we got some big news. It is the 7th of April 2015. And how are you going there, Lenny?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Fantastic, mate. Look, it's huge news and it's just broken and it's massive and people are going out of their minds over it. It's been pretty big over the last few months where we've had the Dallas Buyers Club Incorporated, the people who own the copyright to the Dallas Buyers Club movie, have been trying to get user information, in particular users from iiNet, but this is for all ISPs in Australia, and everyone's been standing behind the privacy and confidentiality argument, saying that we can't give over this information without a proper court order, or you just can't give you this information because we've got an agreement between ourselves and the end user and we can't give this info out. A ruling just today has basically, it's not quite completely in the favour of Dallas Buyers Club, but it's kind of a compromise. So the Dallas Buyers Club or a copyright holder can actually apply to the courts, and my understanding is it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
So they can't go and grab just submit a whole list of IP addresses and times and just say, right, give us all the data for these people. They actually have to go on each case, and they actually have to be approved to get that information. So it's not dead easy, but it's now not impossible for the likes of Dallas Buyers Club to get their hands on the private information of people. What do you think about this initially, Lenny?
Well, I don't know. From what I was reading, like as a big fan of iiNet, I was kind of disappointed to see that someone has always fought for their customers' privacy and they have the intent for what they want to do with it. It's kind of upsetting to see that it fall that way. But what the articles that I was reading, I saw that it mentioned iiNet, I saw that it mentioned Atom, all the smaller ISPs that mostly are owned by iiNet. But the articles that I didn't see Telstra being named anywhere about giving up any information. I didn't see Telstra's name pop up anywhere or anything like that. And trying to find an article at the moment, I just can't find anything to support that kind of thing. Oh, kids need to go to bed. Right. No, that's all right. So yeah, Telstra just being, I don't know, for some reason I couldn't find their name in any of the articles. So if iiNet does this kind of thing, it's difficult for what it is, downloading something, how are they going to be able to do anything about it? Because someone might be downloading something that they think is something, and then it'd be something else. So they can always say, listen, I didn't do this on purpose. It was an accident. I don't know what I'm doing. People that have VPNs set up or all kinds of stuff can get away with it. So it's going to be odd to see how they're going to do it. Like the case-by-case basis is going to be an interesting thing because, like, should we take just you, make an example of you, make everyone scared of downloading something, or are we going to be fair and give every single person a fine or everyone a warning? I think, from my experience, what happened in America is they take one person, single them out, and give them a hefty fine. And it's sad to see that happen here. It's I don't know. It's odd to see iiNet be that kind of person in this situation, I guess.
Well, I think if we were to really look at the ins and outs of it, I'm pretty sure iiNet has fought this tooth and nail all the way along, and they haven't really just basically rolled over and said to Dallas Buyers Club in particular and said, okay, right, you guys win. No, they've been fighting it all this time, and that's why we've managed to reach a compromise like this. So it's
I think a compromise is fantastic. Yeah.
So in this case, Yes, we're going to see the mums and dads and the people who don't really know a great deal about hiding their identity online or doing things so they don't leave a trace. These people are going to be caught out, and yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There is one person that's going to be caught out, or maybe three or four, just a handful, and
Yeah.
they are going to be dragged up and down the streets. It's going to be all over the news. It's going to be really painful for them, and they will be made an example of. And there has been precedent for this before, going way back to I think it's the 90s. We saw a high school girl was sued by the RIAA in the United States, and she was fined to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars over downloading a few songs. It was extremely heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But it did send a really well. It didn't really send much of a clear message. It didn't stop it.
No, it didn't. It didn't, because I think that's when people are more adamant about sharing something. It's like, listen, you just made an example out of one person. That means that I'm free and clear to do what I want to do. So you're not going to do anything against me. You took one person, someone already took the blame. Why not? Mm-hmm. Then you got stuff like all the music sharing things that happened, like Napster. Those all ones that just came up out of nowhere and then did their thing for a while and then disappeared. He sold the company and he made millions of dollars out of just sharing music. So
yeah,
it's like, for me personally, this is my opinion. Like I know that iiNet does not. They will fight tooth and nail to keep their customers' privacy private. It's what they do. It's what they stand by. Compromise is a fantastic thing. Like, I wish there was just a way for us to reach a medium all across the internet where I can say, listen, I will pay $10 for this. Give me access to these movies just like Netflix, but let me download it early or do something. I was like, yeah, it's my way of saying, like, listen, I want to get it my way, but I'll still pay something to get it to the makers, I guess. But it's never going to be able to happen. So it's a wild dream, isn't it?
It's not a. I don't think it's a wild dream. At the moment, it's probably a bit far off. But I was talking to Richard Pascoe just a little while ago, and what we've got to do is we've got to get to the root of the problem, which is fair and equal access for everyone. And it's got to be global, because we are in a global economy now. The concept of regional rights or a regional distribution
doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't apply anymore. We're not restricted by having to ship things through ports to get from A to B. It's online. There are no customs. There are no borders. It's basically A to B done. So
it's the most disappointing thing when you click on a link for YouTube and you click on it and it loads up and it's like, oh, this content is not available in your country. And I'm like, where do I live? I don't live in Kenya. What are you talking about? I live in Australia. Why is it not available for me? It doesn't make any sense. It blows my mind that we still have regional blocking on online activity. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like it puts us back a couple of steps every time that we move forward. Like, listen, we have all this content. This is amazing content. You on the other side of the world, you can't have it. Unfortunately, we'll get there eventually, but you can't have it.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem. I don't know. Blows my mind, kind of thing.
It's nuts. It's like saying, because we can't play nice with the other big distributors, you guys can't have it.
Yeah.
What gives?
I don't know. There's ways that I think the future. I definitely think the next couple of months with this kind of with Dallas Buyers Club, the annoying people. I can't even say their name. It's going to be an interesting couple of months, because now this one door has opened up. Like this, they have now gotten a compromise. That is something that no other company has ever gotten from iiNet or any other providers. They've gotten a compromise. So now, is that not just opening the floodgates for all other makers and producers of music or movies to now say, listen, you gave it to them, I want to compromise too. What's different?
Yep.
We create the same thing. Now we're going to have thousands and thousands of people wanting our information from our ISPs to get that kind of stuff and get us in trouble or other people in trouble and sue and get money. It's going to be an interesting couple of months, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, I've obviously had questions pop up in the circles that I'm in, and people have been asking about things like Tor. Now, those that are not aware of it, Tor is known as the onion router, and it's a way that you can anonymize traffic from A to B. So you can use the Tor browser and browse the internet, and theoretically, no one will know what you're doing. So they won't be able to sniff the traffic or sniff the packets going from A to B, and they won't be able to tell what you're actually doing. It also kind of anonymizes Tor traffic. Sorry, not Tor traffic, BitTorrent traffic, but not really as well as it should. So people are saying, well, what about Tor? Can I use that and download movies and I'm still be safe? The answer is no. Tor does have a history of breaches, and I would not trust Tor completely unless I was left with no other option.
Yeah.
Other people are also saying things about VPNs. Now, VPNs essentially should work, but we've had recent movement in regards to metadata, and VPN, as far as I know, is not immune to metadata capture. The metadata is information about, say, let's take an email, for example. So an email contains an address it's going to, where it's come from, and the time it's been sent. And using that information, you can get a good idea on what sort of activity both ends of the conversation have been going through. It's a similar thing with VPNs. You can tell when a VPN connection has been made and the point of origin and where it's gone to inside that secure VPN tunnel, and then where it's gone from out there. So it's not complete protection in regards to being followed up by copyright holders who would then have investigators out there and they'd be watching certain files within the torrent networks, and they'd be able to say, that person is downloading, or that person, even worse, is seeding or sharing that file on the network. We've got their IP address, we've got the time that they've done it, so then we can go back to the ISPs and chase people up, and that's pretty much what this court finding is sort of leading us to.
Yeah. I can definitely. I'm not advising any of my friends or colleagues or anything like that to even think about downloading movies during this time, just because I can't. There's nothing that's going to secure. It's an if or a maybe that something might happen to you. You might get a warning. You might not. It's not a guarantee. But it's also why take the risk of you being banned from an ISP or getting a copyright strike of some sorts and getting a fine or anything like that. Why risk it? It's no point. What it does make me personally do is avoid seeing the movie. If a maker and producer of music like a movie like that is so against people downloading movies and sharing it, I download a movie, I want to see how it is, then I go purchase the DVD. That's how I've always been. And I know a lot of people do the same thing. They don't want to fork out going to the movies. It's $20, $25 a ticket or more, and some people just can't afford it. They still want to enjoy what you make. They'll pay what they can, but I don't understand that. It just doesn't make any sense. You're now limiting the amount of people that are going to see your movie. People download it. They tell other people about it. They go see the movie. That's just how it is. Now what are you doing? You're doing what Nintendo does, basically. Online YouTubers aren't allowed to make content with their games and stuff like that because Nintendo wants money from it. So
that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's just you're following the same suit, and then Nintendo's dropped off because of it. You're now limiting the amount of people that are watching or seeing your content online in different countries. Now when it comes available over there to purchase or go see in the cinema, I guarantee that it's going to be half as empty as it was. Half as full as it was, I guess.
Yeah. All right, well, but no doubt we'll be seeing more about this as things go on. So I suppose at the end of the day, what we take home from this is that we do not download movies, at least for the time being, until
with Netflix now being available. Why should you download?
Yeah, well, you've got Netflix and Stan and Presto. There's a lot of really good services out there. We've got some good options, enough to keep us busy until, I suppose, next Game of Thrones or something comes out that's under some sort of licensing agreement, which is the real pain.
It is, isn't it? It is. It's a pain. Now, that bumps up to us to the next little thing that I want to chat about. A quick Netflix update. So, recently I've stopped using my US Netflix account. I've been using my Australian one mostly. I'm very, very impressed with the library that it's created, but the most annoying thing is I have seen movies and TV shows on there, and then they disappear the next day. I saw Bad Boys 1 and 2 there. Next day, only Bad Boys 2 is available. So, I don't know what kind of licensing agreement they had where that was available for a couple hours, but they're now the same library functions as the American one. It keeps going in and out. I double check on my phone, my tablet, computer, and the Xbox. I've seen shows come and go almost every day. So I'm just wondering, are they fixing the library or what's going on with that? Because if they're updating it but taking away most of the shows, why not just do it all at once? Because now I'm seeing things I want to watch, but the next day when I get to it, it's not there anymore. It's just a bit odd. But even with that, the library is still very impressive for a newly released service like this. So props to them, I guess. But I wonder why they keep doing it. They keep taking in and out shows. It's weird.
Well, I suppose at this point in time we should just write that off as teething problems.
Yeah,
so they're trying to get things together. Yeah.
But that goes into the region thing that's happening is there are shows that I can't watch, American-made shows that I can't watch, but people in Sweden can watch, in Switzerland can watch, in other countries can watch. They could watch it, but I can't. It's just like, why is that? Why is that? Why do you do it like that? Why do you stop me from watching it if I'm paying the same amount for the same service?
Yeah.
That shouldn't be able to change. Like, what kind of contracting do you have where somebody says, listen, you can put my movie or show on this, but you can only show it in countries like Sweden, Switzerland, and Germany. Don't show it in Australia, which is a massive plus for you, but don't do it. I just why did Netflix go that way? The contracting needs to they need to sort it out, basically.
I wonder if a bit of transparency would help in this situation. So Netflix would put up artwork for an episode they normally would like to be able to show in other countries, but then a little marker to say, hey, we can't do this, and you tap on it for information. They can say, well, this company or this company, or for this reasons, we can't show it in your area.
Yeah.
And that would allow the end users to actually then go to those rights holders or go to the distributors and say, well, come on, guys, can we please watch this? Can you please put it on Netflix? We're already paying for it. Let's make it happen.
Because they do have the ability where you type in a show, it takes you to a thing where it says this movie or show is currently not available to stream or watch. So, but it is available for DVD rental and stuff like that. I'm like, who's gonna pay extra to rent movies or DVDs from Netflix? It doesn't make any sense. But it's going to be interesting to see. I do like the transparency. I would like them to release a full catalog. Like, I don't know, Video Easy had a big thing, like when video rentals were a thing. There's a big book in the front. You go through and you can see all the stuff they've got. I don't have to search for it. I can see what's there. I don't have to browse and browse and browse and browse for ages. There's a massive library, and I think that would be awesome. And I have seen a guy on Reddit has actually created something like that, where you've got the availability to search for something that has it goes through Hulu, Netflix, NBC or something like that, and all those kind of shows. It has a massive online library for just searching through. So it doesn't have the availability for Australia. It's only American. But we'll see how it goes.
All right. Okay. Well, I suppose we'll just move straight on to the next one. So speaking of America, we've got Sling TV during March Madness. So this is basketball, right?
Yeah. Do you know what Sling TV is? So Sling TV is basically what we were thinking Foxtel was going to go into. So let me just get comfy. So Sling TV is basically, it's an online streaming service for all sports. So March Madness is a big thing where they've got basketball games going on almost every day. And it's basically just a bunch of games going on. And Sling TV is it's a service where you subscribe to it, you pay for it, you can watch all the live shows. So it streams directly from the game. There's no lag, no nothing, right? You watch it. Now, Sling TV, unlike Netflix, has a cap on the amount of subscribers that they can have on their system. They put it at 2 million. So only 2 million people in the world can subscribe to Sling TV, and that's it. So they've reached it. So when they reach it, what's going to happen? Now they know that they have the ability to have 2 million subscribers on and watching something. Now during March Madness, all their streams shut down. Basically, they were active, they were watching, but then it just kept crashing. They just had an overload of the amount of people watching it. So in my mind, I'm saying, if you know that you have these many people able to watch a show, why do you not have servers to be able to handle it? You know what your capabilities are, but you don't have the hardware to support it. Why even have a cap if that's how you're going to handle it? Doesn't make any sense. So they completely dropped the ball, and it's very disappointing because this is the way that we wanted live streaming to go. We wanted them to see, we want them to be in sports events and other events. We just want them there. But if that's going to be the thing in the future, how are they going to be able to handle it if the big pioneer of it was Sling TV and they just dropped the ball completely and set back everything? So it's a very, very big thing in America at the moment. We were talking about Periscope and Meerkat and stuff like that. So live streaming, in my mind, is that kind of thing as well. And I think Sling TV being as big as it is kind of put a damper on it for a while at least.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, you're just saying limits with live streaming, and this made me think of when we had a record broken by the Austrian skydiver Felix Baumgartner, and he had a live stream of his leap from space to Earth, which was absolutely epic to watch. I watched it live, but we had. Yeah, I watched it live and I was on all over it. I thought it was fantastic. Now, can you remember the number of live viewers that watched that single stream?
I think it was in, last time I checked, it was in a couple of millions, but I can't remember the exact amount of people.
All right, 8 million live viewers in one go. So that's a lot of bandwidth. And YouTube managed it.
Exactly. YouTube went fine. It was one of the most watched live streams in history, and there was no lag, because I'm pretty sure if it went down for a minute, you would have lost most of it. So, so it doesn't make sense. If YouTube can do it, why can't Sling TV do it? It's not as big, I'll give it to you, but they only have one pure function as a company, and that's the live stream. YouTube does a billion things, and they're still not handling it. Doesn't. I don't know why they did that kind of thing. In that, the way I'm trying to say it is just like Sling TV. You're meant to be able to handle this. This is your one job. It's like buying a smartphone with a billion functions, but you want to use it for one function, and that's YouTube. You use it and it works fantastic. Now, if I buy GPS just purely for maps, and Sling TV is those GPS, and I'm trying to get to Perth City, and it goes, I'm taking you to Darwin instead. That's like, why are you doing that? It doesn't make any sense. Do your one job and do it properly, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, you had one job, that old line. Alrighty. Speaking of one job, we've got Periscope and Meerkat. They do live streaming, and they seem to be doing it pretty well. I've been playing with Meerkat a little bit, and it's not too bad. But personally, I'm finding Periscope to be a lot of fun because it's got a couple of extra little mechanics there. The chat function is really quite cool, and they've executed that nicely. But also there is a mechanic which is very similar to a like button or a favorite button in the other social media applications. So you can tap the screen and it will send little hearts to the viewer, to the broadcaster, and it will actually increase their rankings. So lots of likes means better rankings, and it'll help you get to the front of the Periscope front page. So it's a pretty cool little mechanic, and there are some people gaming it, which is pretty amusing, but there's some other people who are really doing it quite smart, and it's just something as simple as broadcasting a sunrise in Florida.
Yeah, we talked about that guy, yeah. Now, how did your bandwidth go? Because I saw that you did a few streams, giving a tour of your of the radio office. Now, did you notice any peaks in your usage on what you were streaming on?
To be honest, I've been playing it smart. So I've only been using Periscope or Meerkat when I'm on a Wi-Fi network. I don't do it on mobile data. So yeah, my advice to anyone thinking about playing with Meerkat or Periscope or any other live streaming service is to only do it when you're on a Wi-Fi network. So it could be at a cafe, it could be in an office, it could be at home. But for the love of money, don't do it on mobile broadband. It's going to kill you because it will suck it up very quickly.
I did read an article that Periscope, it's a week old and it's already released like a massive update for its homepage and the functionality. Added a few things. Now for a 1 week old app that's owned by Twitter and it's doing well for itself. Where is the Android app? That's what I'm thinking here. As an Android user, it's a big audience that you're missing out on. You're strictly just playing to the Apple side, and I'm wondering why that is.
I'm sure an Android app is in the works. Personally, I'd love to see an Android app as well because I've got this wicked Samsung smart camera, and
Yeah,
it would be awesome as a live streaming device. I would love it. I'd grab that thing
that
with both hands.
so you can on that camera you can download apps and stuff like that, and has the
Yeah,
possibility of streaming on it.
yeah, it's a Samsung Galaxy camera.
Oh
Look,
yeah, I remember that one.
yeah.
I remember selling that.
That thing, yeah, that thing that no one talks about anymore.
No, I think like streaming devices like Periscope on cameras like that, on that smart camera, would be the best combination. You're going to get super good quality as long as your internet can handle it. It's going to be so good. It's going to be interesting to see, because what I was thinking was if it was available on Android, what I was going to do was I was going to do a day in the life of, and basically what we're going to do is I would start up in the morning, I'd turn it on and stream. This is what I do. Brush my teeth, get ready for work, and then at work I'll stream for about 10 minutes saying, this is work, we're just doing stuff, and then just do it like that and see how the day progresses and kind of stuff. But it's unavailable, and also playing it smart in Australia is also just doing it on Wi-Fi, so we will only be able to do it at home because Wi-Fi in Joondalup Shopping Centre, personally, not the best in the world. Probably not capable of holding anything. So yeah, I think you should keep playing with Periscope because it's going to be very interesting to see how you do. Because the more you use it, the more you're going to get comfortable with it. And I still think you should get a selfie stick for it, man. I'm not going to lie. It would be the best thing ever to see you in the office with a selfie stick.
It is tempting, but I'm really worried that someone's going to beat me to death with it. Just rip it out of my hands.
It might happen. Why don't you get a stand like your microphone stand and just attach a selfie stick to it?
Yeah, well, that's something I want to work on. So I want to find some sort of a cradle that I can pop the phone in that'll attach to a standard camera mount. If I can do that, great. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. You can do it while you're at work, and you can have like a behind-the-scenes kind of thing while you're talking to people.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. One last thing that I want to chat about quickly. I know that we talk about them often. They're the main subject of our conversation in the beginning of this, but I just want to personally just give a shout out to iiNet. I recently, again, I'm a customer of theirs, and I'm a big fan of theirs, but tonight I had a big conversation with them. My internet's been having some issues, some technical problems. I'm currently using my hotspot, which is going to chew it, but I spoke with someone for about 30 minutes. They called me back right before we started, and my internet is back up and running, and I think if I was dealing with Telstra, I wouldn't have received a call back. I'd have to wait till Monday, and I'd have to transfer 3 different departments all in one go, so I just want to push people towards iiNet. Their customer service is amazing. The company stands by what they do, and they're really, really good. And I'd like to thank the person, and I'll be doing that through an NPS survey.
Fantastic. Yeah, they live and breathe those surveys. So if you do get asked to fill in one of those surveys, please fill it in, and that will actually help the person that helped you.
Yeah. So when I worked at iiNet, I wonder if people know the fact that you get a 1 to 10 rating. If you think they did really well and you're very, very good, you'll give them an 8. An 8 is really, really bad. It's a passive. It doesn't help them at all. It strangles their commission. So be nice. Give them a 9 and 10, and that gives them a good rating. That gives them towards their commission. If you give them a 0, trust me, you will get a call back right the next morning. You will get a call back discussing the problem. So try as much as possible, guys. Just give them a 9 and a 10. If they did well by it, just to make sure they get their commission, because they do live by it. When I worked there, trust me, a 9 and 10 made me the happiest person in the world.
Yeah, so there you go. So it's not that sliding scale where 5 is a pass and 6 is better than a pass. No, it's got to be 9 or a 10. Otherwise, it's a big thumbs down.
Not good.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's literally a thumbs down on our thing. Yeah, that's all I wanted to chat about today, man. I think. Real quick. While we were streaming, I saw Starbucks in America are now offering their employees college tuition for when they work with them. So if you work for Starbucks, they pay for your college. So you get to go to college without incurring any debt. That's all you do. You work for them for the life of your college thing, and that's your debt paid.
This is in lieu of getting paid by Starbucks. They pay for your education instead.
No, they pay for you. They pay your college and tuition. and they pay you for working with them. So basically, you go with them, you work for them, you get paid working there, and they pay for your college. I think that is a massive company to take a big step like that, to pay for your school. Why? That is just one of the best things I've read in a long time, because I know that McDonald's in Australia does sort of something like that, where they pay for you to study while you work with them. They pay a little bit of it, but to give you a free college ride, basically just for working while you're working with them, I think that's going to make so many people's lives easier over there, and I think that is a massive, massive thing to talk about.
That is really fascinating. Now, I can't help but think this is a way of Starbucks addressing turnover, because in cafes you usually get a pretty high turnover of staff. If you can ensure that you've got a member of staff working for you for a minimum of 2-3 years, you're on a good wicket. You're doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think everyone.
4 years for an employee, for them working there for 4 years, it's going to be great. They're going to save so much money even by paying that, not having to train new staff and all those extra costs of doing it. I think it's going to be a big jump for them. I think. I just hope that it comes to Starbucks here in Australia, because I do know that we have a few, and I think those employees would benefit massively from it if it gets here.
Yeah, that's a great
Not
way
much
to
tech
address
news, but
turnover.
I don't think it was much tech news, but that is news, people.
Yeah, that is news. It could be tech news. They could go on to study computer programming or something.
Exactly, they might
So,
build the next computer.
yeah. Fantastic. All right. Well, I think that about covers it from both of us. So you're
That's
pretty
everything
happy
I
with
wanted
that?
to talk about.
Fantastic.
Oh,
All right.
wait,
Yes.
one more thing. I did
One more.
forget that we were talking about Samsung.
Right.
Samsung S6 and S6 Edge are ridiculously priced. They are
Overpriced?
ridiculous. Overpriced completely. It is the Samsung S6 32 gigabytes costs $1,000. That is $1,100 and something for it. So now those on prices. So if you want the phone by itself, pay over time, it's $92 to $110 a month for 12 months. Now, if you get it on a plan, it does jump it down a little bit, but on a $30 plan, which gives you $300 of calls and 300 megabytes of data, that costs you $64. That is iPhone territory like nobody's business before. It is crazy. So, launches this Friday. I have the devices at work. I've been playing with them. I take it back. I'm not a big fan of the Edge. I can't handle it. It's not comfortable to hold in the hand. I'll play with the 6 more, but I don't think the S6 Edge is going to be very comfortable with people without a case. So this Friday, I think I might be able to take one of the demos home with me. I'll ask my manager. If not, I'll just play with it at work while I can show customers. So we'll see how it goes. But ridiculously priced for Samsung. It's shocking.
All right. Well, if you manage to get it and take it home, do you think we could probably do a show and tell?
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll try my best to get it all done, and then we can do a show and tell. I can run up some features about it, even on the S6 Edge. I'll run some features on it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like, basically.
Oh, that'd be awesome. So fingers crossed that happens.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Well, I think that about does it. So hopefully we've managed to cover a few things and keep people who are watching the video pretty happy. And we'll most likely be doing this again same time next week, so 8 p.m. Tuesday nights. Feel free to join us for the live stream, or just watch it later on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
So there you go.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Lenny.
Thank you very much, Ben. You guys have a good night, everyone. Thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
All righty, and cue the cheesy music.
I love cheesy music. Bow, 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 bow.
Do 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 do.